guys, it's TRIZE here, and this riding mower body is back. It's been roughly 4 years since I've made a riding mower in automation like this, but that was on the version UE4 update, the original one. So let's start off with the panel material of this here riding mower. So first things first, we're gonna pick the fiberglass material because, well, steel is pretty much the best option of all these. And we're gonna be choosing a monocoque chassis with probably AHS steel, even though it's pretty much just like plastic and all good stuff. With the front engine placement, we'll do a front longitudinal with the front suspension here. I believe I set this to a McPherson strut, but this is a requirement for the rear, is you have to set this to a semi-trailing rear suspension. If not, then the freaking body will just glitch out on all good stuff, I believe. For the engine, we're going to be choosing an inline 5 engine made out of aluminum. I did this all in the background off camera. And for the bore, we're going to be lowering this quite a bit to a 63.2 millimeters right here, with the stroke down also quite a bit to a 54.1 millimeters, which gets the engine size to 849 cubic centimeters, with a dual overhead cam 5 valve also made out of aluminum. And pretty much the entirety of this engine, and for this engine only, not for the body, the chassis, all the good stuff, is for the quality spam, just the engine only. Alright, for the internals, for the crank cowl rods and pistons, we pretty much use the best materials except for titanium. So build steel crankshaft with a lightweight forged cowl rods and some lightweight forged pistons and no balancing mass whatsoever, it's unnecessary. For the compression, since it's going to be turbocharged, we're going to lower this quite a bit to a low setting, around a mark of 6.8 to 1 ratio, with the cam profile maxed out to 100. And the springs and lifters, if you strengthen this bad boy out, make it stiff to an 82, and make it VVT at all cams. And for your RPM limit, you're not going to believe me, is we're going to rev this bad boy to 12,000 RPM. You'll see a little bit later. And like I said, we're going to be turbocharging this bad boy, so we'll be using a Spark Boost system with the horsepower for the intercooler set to a 547 horsepower, with a variable geometry ball bearing setup with the compressor size set for the first option at a 69 right here. That is a hella nice number. The turbine, which is the second setting, is you set this to a 64. And the third option for the AR compressor trim, all the good stuff, is set to a 44. And lastly, for the maximum boost, which is going to be a big boy up in here in terms of this good stuff, is we'll be setting to a 42.79 PSI right here. And lastly, for the fuel system and all good stuff, pretty much the best of the best as possible. So a direct injection throttle per cylinder race intake with the manifold size set to a very large 98. And we're going to be running on some super fuel because, well, you're going to be driving this to gas station, all this good stuff to fill this bad boy up. And the fuel mapping, drop this to a 30. And finally, the exhaust, all this good stuff, so we're going to be choosing the tubular racing headers and watch everything just pop out of nowhere like that. The header size set to a 56, the exhaust diameter set to 121 millimeters, which that equals to 4.75 inches. And we're not going to be using a cata converter, but for the first and second buffers, both a reverse flow, and then bring up that quality. And we can obviously see right here with this wacky engine, we're making 704.4 horsepower to 11,600 RPM, and the torque at 349.1 pounds-feet of torque at 8,800 RPM. And with the flow graph, what the hell is happening right here? 6,322.09% of what? Efficiency or what? I mean, it's glowing red up in here. I mean, look at the graph. What's going on here? I mean, there's a good amount of surge stress, but is this why it's like this or what? But let's ignore that and give you here of what this engine sounds like right now. That is a crap ton of turbo lag that we got going here with this engine. I mean, it kicks in at like what? It begins to kick in around 4,700 RPM, that really peaks out at around 5,700 RPM, so we're living in the 80s right here with this type of turbo lag. So for the drive type, to make this thing stability as possible, we're going to be choosing the all-wheel drive setup with a dual clutch, maybe 7-speed, with the top speed set, look at here, 261 miles an hour. I mean, This is pretty much a freaking land speed record of all freaking riding mowers that we got going here. And for the tires, this is going to be very, very important. So semi-slick tires, let's see the rear. We're going to jack this up quite a bit to a maybe 255, maybe? I don't want these to be poking out like big time up in here. Maybe like a 235 should you. 235 seems okay. And the front, we're going to jump this boy to a 165 millimeters, but there's a chance we could get some oversteering at very, very high speeds. And increase the front and rear tire diameter, put some 11s on this bad boy, and some carbon fiber rims because why the hell not? I didn't even have the option back in the original version 4 or UE4 update of this game. And the brakes, best of best, carbon ceramic, maybe a 4-piston up front, jack to size, same thing in the back, carbon ceramic 2-piston, jack to size, and maybe lower front and rear brake force. And for the under tray, I mean, this is pretty much going to be our quote-unquote under tray, so we're going to be using a semi-clad type of under tray with the brake airflow, maybe a 30 for the heck of cooling down the brakes. And the interior, well, you can see how basic this bad boy is. I mean, we got ourselves a single seat, so let's do one seat with a basic interior and no entertainment whatsoever. I mean, tell me where you can put a CD player, an AM radio, FM radio. Just use your phone for God's sakes. Now for the driver aids, all that good stuff, so we'll be using some manual steering with a manual rack and pinion steerings with no traction aids whatsoever. No ABS, no TC, no electronic stability control, none of that whatsoever. And the safety, we're going to choose the none setting. No safety whatsoever. And finally, for the suspension and all that good stuff, so let's keep this very legitimate. Some progressive springs, well, let's say very basic. 22 dampers, passive sway bars, running on a race preset. Where are we at? Not too bad. We are getting some understeer, which is important for very, very high speed runs, even though I plan on putting a wing for this build, which I'm not going to show you much because it's pretty basic. And also what's important, I gotta jack the ride height. I think I set this to a 225 at BeamNG as we lower the car hoist down here. So lower the car hoist and see where we're at. So looks like we're just above ground level. I mean, we're gonna be barely scraping the ground at BeamNG because of the nodes and all that good stuff, but it should really be a big problem once we take it over there. And we're getting some severe brake fade. Let's see what do we got here. Oh my goodness. 20. Are we good? Alright. Rear brake force is still high. I mean, 50% sportiness brake fade for the front, 30.6% in the rear. I mean, they're gonna be fading no matter what, but we're gonna stop pretty good to a certain extent, but they're fading pretty bad. So I don't care. We're gonna be hitting the brakes and all good stuff, so if it does that slidiness, who even cares about that? So let's do the car build right now. Let's just show you this. I mean, it's just not much. Alright, got the headlights in. I'm kind of getting some sort of like nostalgic rush up in here of not building such a riding mower in like 4 years or something like that. So let's find a flat grill. I think we can go to the vents here. And will this work here? The remastered vents, which is a mod on here. So do that, change this to a 2 to make the headlights a priority with the fixtures and all good stuff. And increase the size. I'm not liking the big ass border right here. Alright, will this grill work? So let's increase the size. What the hell? Is this the intercore right here? There's the intercore poking out. Alright, got this chunky ass exhaust out of the way. So for the rear, I put some like 3 different brake lights, like the turn signals, brake lights, all that good stuff. Let me try to find it real quick. I think it's just right here. So this is what I had for the original car. The original riding mower, which was called the Mower DME, which that stood for like damn motor engine, something like that. And finally, to cap off the rear end, send in the freaking wing. I mean, look at this bad boy, except for that. I mean, this is what I had back in the day with my original Mower right here, the Mower DME. It had a Mower like this, and it worked in Automation BeamNG.drive, but I don't know about the new version of Automation BeamNG.drive. It could work better, worse, but who knows. And I capped this bad boy off with the exterior styling. Let's use the same exact mirrors that I used back in the day. Make these a little bit bigger in a way, and widen them out so we can see. Oh, it looks a little wonky around here. Alright, real life, how can you see out of these? I mean, you're looking here, just angle it out a little bit more, and you should see cross traffic to your left and right in your mirrors. Since I haven't done this with the previous version of this vehicle, let's put a tachometer, speedometer, and all that good stuff to this here car right here. Because I haven't done this, so why not do it? Because why the hell not? You gotta see how fast you're going, what your revs are, and all that good stuff, and to shift this bad boy, well, probably put a column shifter or something on here. Alright, so we got the lawnmower all set and done here, so we need a paint job and a name. So first things first, for a name, we're gonna keep the name Spower, but for the trim model, instead of DME, we're gonna call it DME-X. Yeah, the extreme version of the original Spower DME, with our wacky inline 5 engine. So for a color, let's do something right here. Why not say why the hell not and do a frickin' John Deere green up in here? I mean, oh, there goes my patchwork, hold on. Alright, so I made my final adjustment, so before we jump into BeamNG.drive, despite all these many upon many men type of problems, such as some extreme understeer, some extreme brake fades, some extreme wheel spin issues, front rear dampers being too high, rear brake force being too high, semi-slick tires, front camera settings being too quite high, the whirl angle, the wheel spin, the rear tires being quite wide, the engine to unutilized octane. Let's jump on over to BeamNG.drive and give myself a nostalgic trip down the memory lane. So here we are at the modded map of Endless Highway because we need a lot of room to start off with our basic performance test with this riding mower. For our 3 tests, we're going to start off with the 0 to 62 acceleration test, followed by the 62 to 0 brake test, and lastly, a top speed run with this here vehicle. So starting off with the 0 to 62 acceleration test, which will probably take a few seconds, we'll start it now. Accelerate. Here comes turbo lag. And frickin' Lotus 98T vibes, 0 to 62, technically 63, and 4.07 seconds of 138.05 feet. And just like that, that is what turbo lag will do to you folks. So we're at 62 miles an hour, we're gonna hit the brakes now. No ABS, so went up like that. 62 to 0 at 2.57 seconds of 110.02 feet. Despite having no ABS brakes for a car, technically a vehicle like this, that weighs about a half a ton, I think it showed like a 1,400 pounds or something like that. It seems doable. I mean, they're not the biggest of the big brakes, but I'll accept it. Alright, for a top speed run, let's launch this while the turbo kicks in. There we go, 0 to 62 at 2.47 seconds of 150.30 feet. There we go, 150 something miles an hour and counting. Put a friggin' boost counter, we're at 42 PSI, around 42 to 43 as we had a automation. Get away from the ramp here. There we go, automation of around 42.70 PSI, and oh boy, we're kind of swaying a little bit, thank God for that rear wing. And also, thank goodness for me, thinking it's the back of my mind to put some pretty beefy tires in the back, but not so, oh my God. Please, stay straight, we're like a freaking motorcycle up in here. I'm about to say, thank goodness for me, I'm putting beefy tires in the back, and not so beefy ones in the front, because if you're gonna have like tires that are like batching like these, like 235s in the rear, 235s in the front, then you'd be sliding over the place just like that. So unfortunately, we were hovering around 230 something miles an hour, so I think this is probably going to be our best top speed throughout this map. No matter if the wing is holding us back, and we're in this type of position, so skateboard here, and let's get a better crash going. Alright, I think I see the wall at the very edge. I've been driving for about a couple of minutes, and here is the wall, so stop. Ooh, right on time. So a crash speed, according to airspeed, of 238 miles per hour, but I was wheel spinning like crazy way back there. So let's do 100 times slow-mo, see what it's like now. 238, there goes the lawnmower, and obliterated just like that. Let's just speed us up a little bit, and whoa, what the hell is that? There goes the rear wing, let's see the rear wing. I mean, it's just, it's casually flying back, full time. And there it goes. So here is the lawnmower all set and done. The main engine is broken because, well, you cannot hear anything going on. And a final look at the aftermath structures vehicle, I mean, well, it's unrecognizable. You tell me if this was a lawnmower, a riding mower, all that good stuff, I wouldn't believe it one bit. So right now, we're going to be doing a time trial run at Hirochi Raceway of where I originally raced the original Spower lawnmower. So take it there right now. So here we are at the map of Hirochi Raceway, and we'll be doing only one lap around the Hirochi Raceway track with the long racing circuit version of this here time trial run, of this here track, and all that good stuff. So let's get ready to start this here bad boy in 3, 2, 1, get to the boost. That's more like it. And cornering was the stuff back in the day. Alright, let's see the cornering's like. I mean, for the original Spower, I was getting like, god damn it. Lost traction right there, just instantly just lost it. It sucks. Because originally I was making those corners at around like 70 miles an hour, but that was like 4 years ago when there was like a whole lot of like things that went into effect, like aerodynamics, the freaking camber, all that good stuff. So 87. Papa goes his exhaust, and damn, this thing is like worse than I had with the original Spower. And even my original Spower, when I first made that one about 4 years ago on the automation test track, I believe if I recall correctly, I think it got like a 1 minute 19-second time, which was just as good as a Enzo Ferrari, so ignoring that wing, screw that. So yeah, it was just as good as an Enzo Ferrari according to the automation, or the Top Gear test track times of what they've done with that car. And with the DME X right here, I had a time of a 1 minute 13 seconds, around like 50 milliseconds or something like that. So according to those two cars, in terms of like performance and everything, and time-wise, this is pretty much the upper hand. It's a lot better than my predecessor. And my god, this is so scary to drive. We lost the rear wing, so we're almost like a little bit stable than ever before. So how about cornering? Let's see. Highway speeds. Hit the gas a little bit. Let the bottoming out do its work. Get close to the cones and gun it. Gun it as we go. Get a time of 1 minute, 36 seconds. 462 milliseconds. God damn, son. So in the wall we go. And yeah, so we're in first place. We beat the second place time, which is the, oh no, the Kamikaze. An old Soviet Union type of communist flying vehicle that doesn't even work in BeamNG.drive, just fly on Pluto gravity, pretend it flies, and all that good stuff. So go to free roam and just, well, keep right here because we already slammed ourselves into the wall back there. So for the final part of the video, let's go on over to Car Jump Arena to see if this one versus the old one is better. So let's find out here by taking to the top of the ramp right now. So here we are at the top of Car Jump Arena right now, and we currently got a 2 light, a 3 light, a 4 light, and a 5 light. So get ready to accelerate with the DME X version of the Spower right now. There's a predecessor, we're gonna launch him really soon. So here we go. We're in the air, and 0 to 62 in 5.32 seconds of 190.79 feet. That is currently the worst that we got on us right now. 220-mile-an-hour launch. Then we're going to do a backflip. No, we're not. So we're going to get to the 500 marker. Just over the 500 marker. The engine's still running, and we're flipping on over. We smashed this down pretty good, and keep on going. Still in bounds right here. Almost went over through the fence into the grass back there, so we barely got in bounds. And despite that heavy rear-end collision and just start of oil, there is the intercooler right here, and the engine. Wait, what the hell? What if I accelerate? Oh no. Do that seizure dance from SpongeBob. Wait for the turbo. Oh no, now it's having a seizure. 911? Emergency? 911? Alright, wrap this bad boy up, ignoring the lights on here. Let's launch the Spower once again. Mid-flight yet again. And damn, the freaking turbo, the freaking boost we got is around 38 PSI and we're over-revving. Well, whatever. 142-mile-an-hour launch. Way less than what I got with the Spower DME X. So around the 275 marker, here we are flipping on over. There goes the rear wing and lag. Impact detector stopping car. God damn, we are rolling over pretty good. Brake test is going off. We're gonna get in the pool. We're gonna miss the pool, hit the lifeguard tower. And we hit the lifeguard tower and we're rubbing up against it right now. Let's get out of here. Freaking wannabe 2JZ type of engine type of car. I had like, what, 850 cc's for an inline 6, while the DMBX had an inline 5, making around this type of capacity. Alright, so the aftermath destruction of the vehicle of the original Spower. So the engine, here it is, right here, completely exposed, and there goes the timing chain. It's doing absolutely nothing. Now for the final part of the video is accelerate as so down the bridge right here. We're gonna get a high-speed crash test going at the final bridge pillar to see our high-speed crash test go. So hop the curb, please hop the curb. Please hop the curb. Please hop the curb. We're too late. Hop the curb. Well, we're trying again. I forgot we have no such thing as ground clearance, so this is going to be a pain in the ass to do. So we're about to, like, ram ourselves up the curb. Let's see. Ram it. Oh, here we go, here we go. We're going to be offsetting. Make or miss. Let's see. We're going to be quite offsetting up in here. We're going to be offsetting. God damn you. Okay, gave up and just freaking F7 right here at the final bridge pillar at a very high speed. So let's do 100 times slow-mo. Do it now. That's more than a... Wait. No, we're gonna go down to 0. God damn it, screw this. Okay, 196 miles an hour. Everything as is. There we go. Chop the bad boy in half. Full time. And yeet the bad boy on over. There we go. That was what I was looking for a very long time because of the poor ground clearance of the lawnmower right here. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the Mower DME X. Compared to the difference between this model and the original Mower model, well, in terms of performance, you can obviously tell. What's more powerful, an inline 5 making 700 horsepower, or the original 267 horsepower inline 6 engine? They're both turbocharged, they're both stupidly powerful, and they're pretty much one of the most wackiest builds I've ever made. Even though I made the original Mower 4 years ago, it still hasn't changed one bit in terms of styling, but what has changed, it's its performance. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. And also, check out my social media down in the description below. So this is TRIZE rising up and signing out.